Evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Myself and Lee Judges are back, and we're going to be talking all things football. Please make sure you do me a favour. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. Make sure you are part of Lee Judges TV and you're part of the community. We are on target to reach 40k as our next. So please make sure that you do that. If you can, come and show some love. I hit 25k today, Lee, which I'm happy about.
Well done, Scott. Well done. That's brilliant.
Thank
Fantastic.
you very much,
well
mate.
done.
Appreciate that, bro. So thank you to everyone that's followed me on Football's 12th Man and has got that up to 25k as well, because I know you watch both channels. So big up to all of you. I must say, I was really happy to hit that. So the next one's the big 3-0 and this one's the big 4-0. So let's help both the channels get there, please. Big up to everyone who's in the chat. Ronnie's in the chat, Lee. Must be that Tottenham won.
Yeah, they must have won Spurs today. Did they win today?
Tottenham must have won, mate. I did watch the first bit of it actually, because it was on early doors, wasn't it? And they went 1-0 down, but it didn't count. And I actually thought it was onside when I looked at it, but you know, Tottenham got away with it. 2-1 they win, I think it was. So well done, Spurs. You beat Fenerbahce. Well done. That was a fantastic result against them. They're a good side. As for Manchester United, I'm so happy that Harry Maguire's equalised, and I'll tell you why. Because it keeps that man in the job for a little while longer. What did you make of that, Lee? What a game!
Do you know what I'm going to say this now? Two managers under pressure, last-minute goals. Tottenham and him now, like, you know what I mean? Do you remember the game against Coventry? I think if Spurs lose that game of Coventry, I think Spurs were in trouble. But they got that last-minute equaliser. Then they went on to win it, and then they've been unbelievable since Spurs. You know what I mean? Like unbeaten since they lost.
5 wins in a row, Ronnie says.
Like,
well
5 wins in a row, like that. I mean, cool. I can't remember who was the last team they lost to then. Like, who was the last team they lost to, Ronnie? If you can put that in the chat, I'd love to know. Like, you know what I mean? So, so they've done really well, you know. And so last minute go. This could be the defining moment. I think that Spurs will look back, you know, because don't forget. Spurs have the best defence in the league, got the best players, and you know, I mean, best midfield players and everything like that. So you know, we'll go on to win this competition. That will be a defining moment for them, and this could be for Man United. You know, 10 men. I have to say, with 10 men, you've got to give them a little bit of credit for that.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. It was an awful game of football in terms of quality, though. Wasn't it?
Quality wise, it was awful. Like, you know, but let's be honest. You know, Porto should have gone 4-2 up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. A ridiculous decision to go for goal when he could have just played it across. But anyway, he's done that. And then again, another harsh sending off. I don't think that's a second booking. What is going on with these right now? And they're supposed to be even better in Europe. But I have to say, you got to give them a bit of credit for coming back there. Like, you know, that really, really difficult for them. But they live to fight another day. I don't want Man United to go out of this cup competition, by the way. Not why Spurs are in it, because I want all the good teams in there just in case. I don't want it being easy. So, and really at one stage, you want Manchester United, probably quarterfinals, to take on Tottenham so they bash each other up. But listen, I'm going to give credit where credit's due today, because they were dead and buried there. After a very, very good start then, you know, 2-0 up, comfortable. It's looking like, you know, you'd have to say, well, they're playing for him and everything like that. But then, you know, it all went pear-shaped for the most part of that game, didn't it? And then, you know, they got back at the end there. So, listen, I wouldn't want, you know, if an Arsenal player got sent off, that we'd be going mad. I can see why.
I mean, it was a high foot and all that, but let's be real. You know, seen that many times before over the years, ain't we? But I'll be honest.
Holding his head down. Come on.
No, I really like Diogo Costa as a goalkeeper, but I thought he had a shocker tonight. He had a stinker, I thought.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper. Well, both of them, really. I mean, Onana's don't really do much either, but I think, you know, when you're bringing on Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans at the end there, you know, Man United are in dire straits, really, don't you? Understand that Maguire's got the header and has kept hold his mate Ten Hag in the job for a bit longer, I think. I mean, even if they lose to Villa now, you know, like, they're expected to lose to Villa. So, in my opinion, they are anyway. I think that Villa could do some damage to them after seeing them against Bayern Munich last night. I thought Villa were very impressive. And that John Duran, Lee, looks a baller. I mean, what a goal! I don't know what Neuer's doing, by the way, but what a goal that was.
Yeah, it was really interesting. They turned around and said, didn't they? I don't know what someone said. One of the players turned around and said, I think it might have been Roger, saying that we'd looked at his in the videos, and he does stay off his line quite a lot, and they punished him, like, you know. So listen, Aston Villa are a difficult team to beat. You know, not many teams are going to go there this season and win at Villa Park. You know, I don't know if anybody has won there this season, but if they have, they must be a very, very good team. If they have, has anybody won at Villa this season? Must be a bloody good team if they have, because like that Villa are a very, very good side, particularly at home. Great atmosphere there, by the way, Dan. You've experienced it as well, and
it's unreal. Yeah,
it is one of my favourite.
That would have been last night. That would have been amazing.
Oh yeah, you could see it was rocking, and fair play to them. I thought they deserved it on the day. Bayern Munich were poor. I thought their quality in the final third wasn't good enough. I thought their approach play and all that was really good, but the final third, you know, and then when they really did put it on them at the end, you know, our mate Martinez made 2 unbelievable saves, and so credit where credit's due. So listen, Manchester United, I think if you're a Man United fan now, you take a draw, wouldn't you? I think you take a draw.
I mean, you would, and then they got Fenerbahce, Jose Mourinho coming back to Man United in the next game in the Europa League. I mean, I've got Porto and Fenerbahce to be the 2 favourites to win the whole competition, but from what I'm seeing, I think it's anyone's. I mean, honestly, Porto don't look great. Fenerbahce drew again tonight with FC Twente, 1-1. I think it was anyway, unless someone can correct me in the chat. Man United don't look good enough. I never put Spurs favourite to win stuff. So look, I just honestly,
Lazio, in it, I think they are.
Lazio, that's a good shout. Lazio are the ones that at the moment I think people will look at. But let's be real, there's no one in there that I look at and think, wow, you know. And that Conference League, let me tell you, is an absolute shambles. I mean, that is a joke. And I'll tell you why. Me and LB today, I went on LB's show, and I must say it was a shambles. Some of the teams. Shamrock Rovers, Noah FC, Utah Prague or someone like that. And I'm thinking, who are these teams? I mean, one of them was from Moldova. They've got a capacity of 1,000 fans, Lee. 1,000. It looks like a wreck. It looks like Hackney Marshes, their ground. It's honestly unbelievable. Like, I've never seen anything like it. It is quite incredible, mate. And look,
one English club's won it, though.
Well, Chelsea has got to go and win that. I'll tell you this now.
Guaranteed like that. You know what I mean? They're guaranteed. I think, like, you know, when you look at it, Aston Villa and Spurs have got to be kicking themselves that they've entered that competition and didn't win it.
How have Spurs and Villa not won there?
Yeah, unbelievable, really. But
that is crazy, isn't it?
Chelsea are going to win that without playing any of their first team players, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be real. Like, Chelsea are going to walk that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, you know, what have you made in the new format anyway, Lee?
I'll tell you what what I don't like about it. It's like you can lose so many games and you're still through. You know, if you can't get in the top 16 of the Champions League, let alone the Conference and the Europa, you know, listen, we've been there before in those competitions like the Europa League. If you play your second team, you're still qualified. Do you know what I mean? So that's going to happen. I know it gets a little bit deeper than that. And with the Champions League at the moment, you know, you go to that game against PSG. There wasn't really like, oh, you've got to win this game. You've got to win. You know that you know, realistically, to win the games, you're not going to play another game. Well, I don't mind going and watch another game. You know what I mean? Like, if I be really honest. So as long as you get through, you know, then when it really matters is the knockout stages again, Dan. Nothing's changed for me. They just made it a little bit bigger. It is interesting that, you know, Arsenal, they were in 8th at one stage and then dropped down to 13th straight away, like, you know. So it'd be interesting, I suppose, to get into that top 8. And I suppose if you're in the top 8, you know, one bad result could drop you out of it. So I don't know, really. I don't really know how I feel about it. But it just stinks to me like, more money. That's what it seems.
I'll tell you why people don't like it, because they think it's the first step towards the European Super League. I think that's what people are worried about. I'll tell you why I quite like it. I understand everything you've said, and I agree to the cons. I quite like it because last season I was only bothered about 3 teams at this stage of the competition, the 3 teams in our group. But now you're looking at the league table and you actually look at the other games and you're thinking around, actually, I quite look at they're by us, or what they're doing. Oh, they've lost. That means we've jumped up. Actually, a league table, it start to look at other results. You start to look at what Man City are doing because they're on the same points as us. You start to look at what other teams are doing around you that beforehand you wouldn't be bothered. I quite like that part of it. I will say though that the more games are just, the more games are just a bit frustrating because we're still going to be playing these games in January, by the way.
Yeah.
Apparently. Like we get to January, normally it's done and we're waiting for who we get in the last 16. But now we're going to be still playing then and still waiting. So, look, it's going to be a madness. This European Conference League, by the way, is mad. And I'll tell you why. I've got it up now. CS Petro Cup are a Moldovan football club that have a capacity of 1,000 stadium. And this is their stadium.
That's unreal.
That is their stadium.
Isn't it? You know what I mean? That's unreal.
It's quite incredible, isn't it? I mean, I looked at it with LB earlier and we just started laughing, like if Chelsea do not win that competition, I mean, if that would be Chelsea, Villa and Spurs that ain't won it, West Ham, fair play to them because they have actually gone in there and they can hold their heads high, to be fair. Look, this one comes in from Suge. Big up, Suge. He says, big up Lee, down in the community. Hit the like and sub, people. Dan, congrats on the 25k. Well deserved. Listen, thank you so much, man. And it's to loyal supporters like you, mate, are the reason that we have to say thank you because you've been fantastic to both of us, putting in super chats every show. Don't think it does not go unnoticed, Suge, because it really does not, mate. Thank you so much, mate. People like that we need, Lee, don't we?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's amazing. Like, when we tune in, like we get like people. We still can't get our heads around. We were speaking about this the other day, weren't we? Like, we do these shows and we talk sometimes a lot of crap and sometimes maybe not. But we get people like, 800, 900 people watching and all that. And, it is unbelievable, really. It is unbelievable. And we thank you all for it, it's a very humbling thing, isn't it, Dan?
Incredible. Incredible, I honestly, I did this and thought I might hit 5k one day, but to hit 25k is
incredible. You've done well. You've worked wonders. You worked really hard at it. I know you do, and it's well deserved. And the other thing that I have to say is that I've been on other shows, but the chat that we have is always so respectful, like very good. We'll get some really good people in there. I'll go on some other people's shows and, you got some right idiots in there, but we just seem to have a very good community of people in the chat and they have sensible debates while we're talking as well, which really makes it special as well, So, we'll big up yourself and big up the people in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And likewise, echo everything you've said for yourself as well, because this channel is booming too. So it's brilliant to see, man. Look, I've got to say this. I really, really want to see Arsenal go all the way in this Champions League, Lee. And I want to get your thoughts on it because there's a lot of people that are talking about Arsenal suited to the Champions League more than the Premier League. And let's be real, we had this conversation last year. I remember it. But I think our defence, Lee, people are starting to look at it now and see that there's an absolute chance of Arsenal in every single game keeping a clean sheet or a chance that we might. And that's going to allow us to go far and deep in the Champions League. So what do you make of this, bro?
Yeah, that's a great point. 2 Champions League games, 1 home, 1 away, and 2 clean sheets. Like clean sheets, is a big thing in football. It's a big thing, straight away. If you don't concede a goal, you've got a point. That's it's common sense, I know, but that's how it is. But we're making ourselves very, very hard to beat. I looked at the games Tuesday. I've looked back at it, and my thoughts haven't changed. I don't know because there wasn't perhaps so much pressure because of this league format at the moment. But I was sitting there relaxed at 2-0. I never thought that they was going to, when they put it on us a little bit, I thought, well, we can ride that. And we do. I think, I'd be disappointed if we was to concede a goal at any stage now, and I like the way we're defending. I have to say, Raya has contributed on that fantastically well. And we're defending, and I look at Tuesday's game, Dan, and I feel that we looked a little bit like we belonged. That's how I thought. I thought we, how can you say it? A little bit like yesterday's game. You could see that Villa were holding on a little bit. You could see that Bayern Munich were the dominant team, probably but like Villa rode their luck and got the result for whatever way you want to look at it. I felt that from our point of view, it wasn't like that. We was the home side, took it to PSG, set traps for them that they went into and things like that, everything there. So I thought it was a really, really good European performance. One of those performances I haven't seen for a very, very, very long time. With Arsenal, I can't remember the last time I sort of sat there. Now, listen, we've won certain games against Lons 3 or 4-0 at home, but
yeah,
I'm talking like a real decent team. If you go back to last season, Porto, we really struggled against. I know Porto are probably a better side last season than they are this, but we struggled, and it was not a great. It certainly wasn't like the game I see today, but. We get through that on penalties, and it could have gone either way. And Bayern Munich, I don't think that we done ourselves justice. We really should have won that game at home by 2 or 3-0, but we made mistakes. But I see us on Tuesday learning from our mistakes, which I think is a fantastic thing.
Yeah, look, I'm going to say it now. I actually believe that we can go quite far in this Champions League, and I did a show on it yesterday. And some of the people in the comments were going, "Calm down, you've only beaten PSG 2-0. It ain't about beating PSG. It's about how we look. It's about what we are doing as an outfit. It's not one individual result that's changed my mind. I just think the way we are at the moment, we look solid, we look resolute, we look able to compete with the very best. And if you can go and do what we did at the Etihad, you can go and get past teams, Lee. You can. I look at Etihad now as a little bit of we've learned a lot from that game because we can be resolute. And I understand that we conceded at the end, but with 10 men, that was difficult. Most people would have. I will say this. I think that any team that we get drawn against now, I actually have a real excitement about us against them. Whether it's Real Madrid, whether it's Man City, whether it's Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, whoever you want to throw at me, I actually get really excited about what we're going to see from Arsenal. Now, it weren't long ago, bro, that I was like, oh, Christ, I hope we avoid them. Oh, I don't want them. We'll go straight out. Oh, my God, we've got them. It weren't long ago. Like, if you would have, a few seasons ago, if you would have given me Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, PSG, even Porto we got last year, a few years ago, I would have gone, oh, crikey, I don't think we'll beat them. So that just shows how far we've come. And I think when we actually look at how resolute we are and how compact we've been defensively, I think it's a good thing. And I wanted to ask you about that because I actually don't know what our best our best back four is at the moment, Lee. And I wanted to ask you because Calafiori's coming at left back and he's replaced Timber. He's been good. Gabriel and Saliba, we know is the partnership we want. Ben White, superb for like 3 years now. Timber's coming at right back and has been outstanding. We've still got the likes of Tommy Asu, Zinchenko and Kivior, but I think we can agree they're probably the backups now. But who the hell starts in the back four as a first when everyone's fully fit, mate?
That's a great question. We spoke about this on the Invincibles with Julian's this morning, and I see Julian's in the chat saying that he's starving. I don't know what he's starving for. Go and eat something, man. Go and eat something. If I'm Ben White, I'm a little bit worried. You see how ruthless he was with Ramsdale last season. Ben White, I think, has been absolutely unbelievable for us for the last few seasons. For me, I think he's been really, really good. But he would have sat there on Tuesday night thinking, oh, God, I hope this knee injury gets healed up a little bit quicker. I noticed that he didn't train today, but that doesn't mean to say that he didn't. If they can not show you the photos and everything like that. So I don't know, but I'd like to think that Aaron, that Ben would be back. I think if difficult, but if it was to play a cup final tomorrow and everybody's fit, I think Ben White would still be my right back. I think when you look at the couple of games this season, I'll still go on about it. Song at Tottenham and Lookman at Atlanta, two wingers flying. Kept very, very quiet. And who was playing that day? Ben White. So that's a really interesting one. Like Calafiori looks good, but I don't think he's nailed on yet at this moment in time. It just gives us a little bit more balance. I don't think I've seen a better first half performance from a right back for a very, very long while than what I see of Timber's first half on Tuesday though, Dan. That was up there with elite. It really was. But the one thing that doesn't go in his favour, and this is going to happen to him quite a lot over the next year because he's had a horrendous injury, that there's going to be little niggles here and there, and I think that's why I think that it's nice now probably to pull him out and make sure that he don't go to the Netherlands and get Ben White coming back. But listen, Tommy Asu's back in there. It'd be really interesting who can play that. Josh Nicholls done a very, very good job when he played the other day against Bolton, but I don't think he's quite ready for the Premier League at the moment. I think that if Timber and White are out, I think Tommy Asu will probably come in. But when you look at it, Dan, if he does come in, you'd be looking and going, well, we've got two right backs out, and Tommy Asu is still a decent player. So it'd be really, really interesting to see what happens there. Two central defenders speak for themselves. But I'll tell you what, Kivia done very, very well when he come in the other night again. So he's pushing as well, Dan. So
it's brilliant to see, man. It's a good decision to have to make, innit? And I look at it right now and I think, right, Ben White, Timber, Calafiori, Gabriel Saliba. Well, Gabriel and Saliba are in. Basically, you've got to decide if you want Timber or Calafiori at left back. Because I think Ben White, he ain't done much to deserve to be dropped. At the moment, he ain't trained again, so it looks like he's going to be out at the weekend. So it will be the same back four if Timber's fit, which we believe he is going to be for that. You've got to decide whether you want Calafiori or Timber at left back, I think. And I think as much as Calafiori has done well, I think Timber's been better. So I don't think you can drop Timber out of that back four.
Yeah.
So I think at the moment, if everyone's fit, it is Ben White, Gabriel Saliba and Timber. But Calafiori is proper knocking on the door. He has had a couple of... Maybe he has to keep his head a bit, Calafiori, at times, because he has had a couple of moments where he roams forward a bit like in a Zinchenko role and then finds himself a little bit vulnerable. But I think that is just the way he is, and I think he'll get better at that because he's a much better defender than Zinchenko. So, look, I think, we're going to find out, aren't we, at the weekend what's going to happen, and in the coming weeks, we're going to have to look at this very wisely because after this international break, Lee, we have got some big games, and I don't quite know how he's going to do this. I don't quite know how he's going to rotate. I don't know if he's going to start strong and take 5 players off. Maybe he's going to do that. Or is he going to start with a little bit of a rotate and drop 2, then play the other 2, then drop another 2? How's he going to do this in the coming weeks? Because we've got some unreal games, mate. We've got Liverpool at home, Preston away, then it's obviously Newcastle away, Inter Milan away, Chelsea away.
Yeah, listen, I think that's a great point. And the point that you people have sort of like, we were saying earlier on today, do you rotate in this game? And people are going, why are you so fixated on rotation and all that? And the way I look at it, and I'll be frank about it, really, is that I see Pep does it and look at the success that they've had. I've seen other teams do it. Liverpool have done it. And I feel that, we've got to do it as well if we want to keep it fresh towards the back end of the end of the season. So I don't know how he's going to do it, Dan, but I'll tell you what, the good thing about it is if he was to rotate Ben White and say Timber at right back in those sort of games, I've got not a problem with that. If he does it on the left-hand side, I've got not a problem with it. I ain't got a problem if he does it in midfield.
Yeah.
So like there is, the team is very, very strong. But I also think that, when we go on, why are you obsessed with rotation? There's two things I go on about rotation. Is that if you're how can I say, if you're in the squad, you're a squad player, and I don't know, say if you're a midfield player and you're not playing. Then all of a sudden that player gets injured. You've got to come in with no minutes under your belt. And I think that, it's going to take you 1 or 2 games to get into it and all that. So if you can sort of get all your squad players getting certain valuable minutes and all that, I think that does help. Because so when someone is injured, they're at the same level as the player going out. So for instance, if you was to say like, I don't know, Ben White's been playing, and all of a sudden like, oh, Timber come in now and he doesn't play well. You go, oh, Timber ain't played well, has he? Well, he ain't had the minutes. That now, so all of a sudden now, like Marino's getting minutes. So like, hopefully he gets some more minutes in the time. So, and if there is the time when he comes, he's ready to go, he'll be ready to go then. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think that's very, very important. And I also do think that freshening the squad is that physically, I don't want us to go like, I don't know, like playing these games and then we play a game and we're physically not up for it. We're jaded and we don't get the game. So I think there's really interesting things for what Arteta's got to do. And the question is, if you can't rotate against Southampton, when do you rotate? That's but listen, if he doesn't rotate on Saturday, I ain't got a problem with it. I'm going to go, oh, he should be rotating and all that. I just wonder where everybody's going to get their minutes and whatever. But in saying that Thomas Partey's played 3 games in a week and people didn't think he could do that. And then he plays on Tuesday as well. After 60 minutes, he's come off. So there is that thought process as well, Dan, that you can play players for 60 minutes and then take them off. So whatever way he does it, I think that it'd be interesting. And, I think with Thomas Partey, I thought he was outstanding.
He was.
On Tuesday. I felt on Saturday when he tired, he started giving the ball away and all that, So keeping him fresh is very, very important. And, but like you're asking Jorginho to come in against Spurs, say, for instance, like he did, and he done fantastically well, don't get me wrong, and then going, well, I expect him to play really, really well. He hasn't played since Spurs, so he'd be chomping at the bit for this game. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was 1 or 2 changes on Saturday, but it is interesting to see what, if he will do or he won't. I don't know about you, but I'm quite fascinated by our squad at the moment. Like, is it strong enough? Is it not strong enough, or and if it is,
we'll find that. I think we got cover. We got cover. Is it adequate cover? I'm not sure it's adequate in every position, but I'm certainly happy with the majority of positions. And I'm honest with you, 1 year he could shut me up about the attacking midfield role, because if he comes in and Ødegaard isn't missed, I can say fair play. Trossard deserves a mention as well.
Yeah,
I just worry up top, Lee. I'm not happy with Jesus and Sterling at the moment, and I just wonder if that's going to be the problem. But I will say this: last season we were flinging on Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, and Eddie. And this season we're putting on Jesus, Sterling, and Wanyeri. I'd rather be bringing on.
Yeah, and they've got to step up, Dan. It's I'm looking at Jesus at the moment. He's working hard, he's trying, but it's not happening for him. But he's got to step up. I think you'd be honest and say that, Trossard has stepped up. Trossard's come in, stepped up, and the biggest compliment I can give him is that I didn't say on Tuesday night one time we're missing Ødegaard.
No.
So he's doing his job. So if he was to leave Kai Havertz out for this game, Jesus has got to come in. Jesus has got to come in and go, right, I'm ready for it if it's the case. And what I would love to see if Jesus does play instead of Havertz on Saturday is I walk away from the Emirates game. Well, that was great. We got the result. We didn't miss Havertz. He's nicely rested going into the next block of games, because my big worry is that for Germany that they're playing both games. They're not going to rest him. Saliba's not going to get rested. Saka's not going to get rested. Rice is not going to get rested. So they're key players for us. Key players. And I know it's bang out of order that we've got to rest our players when we pay, because the managers in international football are not going to do it. But that's how it has to be done, So listen, I don't know if Trossard wasn't involved in the last Belgium squad, was he? He was left out. I don't know I'm pretty sure his form would have put him back in it. I don't know if he is or he's not. But, Martinelli will get a little bit of a break if he's not in for Brazil. But Gabriel's another one that will play both games, Dan, you know. So we just got to be wary of that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not obsessed with it, but I think we have to be wary of it. And I'm pretty sure Arteta is as well.
Look, I'm gonna agree with what you said about rotation. I'm really interested to see what he does. I don't think Mikel Arteta is going to rotate mad, but I do think over the coming weeks we're going to have to see it. Let's bring a couple of these super chats up. Nicholas says, "Big ups from Australia. I always tune in while working." Big up to you, Nick. I really appreciate that, mate.
No, thank you very much.
This is an interesting one from Suze. He says that he's heard this on another channel as he's flicking through. Ben White leaving at the end of the year now that we have Timber. I can't see it, but what are your thoughts? I don't see that happening, Lee, do you?
No, he just signed a new contract last year, but again, that don't matter because Aaron Ramsdale did. But no, listen, Ben White's been fantastic for us. Why would he? Why would they want to leave him and all that? Like, you know, the one thing that I'll say about Timber, and we never know this at this moment in time, where was he going to be playing when we signed him? What was his position? When he got injured, he was playing left back, if you remember right. Thomas Partey was playing right back, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. So listen,
I think he was. I actually do think he was signed as a versatile player.
Yeah, I do.
Really do. I don't think he was given one position because we've seen him left back, right back, centre back, and I honestly believe that's what he was brought in for. Similarly to Tommy Atsu. And, you know, I know he come in and started at right back, but he's had better games at left back sometimes, Tommy Atsu, and a good game at centre half. So I'm a big fan. Look, Ben White's going nowhere. He's been one of our better players, in my opinion, in the last 12 months. And I think that when you look at what he's got future-wise, I think it is with Arsenal, and I think he's happy. You know, if he was starting to make murmurings about him not being happy, that's a different thing. But for me, I'm not sure I can see him going. If I'm honest,
exactly that, and he plays every week. Dan, the only reason he's not playing at the moment is because he's injured. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. He's not been about for the last couple of games. He's not trained, so hopefully he's not. There's nothing too serious, and we'll get back to seeing Ben hopefully on. You know, don't forget, like, because he didn't train today, don't mean to say he can't train tomorrow. So we'll wait.
Yeah, true. And if he is out, I don't actually mind if we give him a rest, Lee, and get him fully fit and back to after the international break, because he's not going to play for England, which is good. So we get him back properly fit for Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I see it. But look, let me ask you, give me your 1 to 11 for Southampton at the weekend then.
If fit, I'm obviously Raya in goal. I'm going to go Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori. In the midfield, I am going to go Jorginho, Rice, Trossard. And up top, I'm going Saka, Jesus, Martinelli.
Interesting. So the reason Havertz will definitely play is because he's on for the record, isn't he? He's on for the 7-in-7 at the Emirates. Henry's the only person to do it. So Havertz will start, I think. However, I understand why you're making some changes there. But Havertz, I think, will start. I actually think it will be Saka, Martinelli, and Trossard again, and I think he's going to go strong, and he'll take some of them off. Partey you mentioned for Jorginho. I think if we do see anything, I think it might be Marino that comes in there with Rice as a 6, and then we've got Timber at right back. I think ahead of White if Ben White has got a knock, but otherwise I'm pretty much with you. I'd like to see Nwaneri start. That's what I would do. I would love to see him start in the middle, but I think it will be Trossard. I think he'll start strong, and I think he'll take players off. I'm expecting a big win, Lee. They haven't been good, Southampton. Bournemouth, we absolutely smashed them. They've been poor all season. I don't know how we can't come out of this game with at least a 3-0. I'll be disappointed if we come out with a 1-0 here or a 2-1, you know, because we have to make a statement here by, I think, putting some goals from get our goal difference up, mate.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that they're there for the taking, aren't they? Like, you know, and the manager's under a lot of pressure, which is a little bit harsh, if I'll be honest. But listen, how can I say it? Like, you know, we've got to go out there and say that the Leicester game was a one-off. You know, that it does happen, and we got ourselves for it. But you know, normal service is resumed. Comfortable 2-3-0 win. Like that's how I see it. I don't want to. I want to be sitting there relaxed, looking at my phone, looking at looking at the crowd, seeing if I can spot anybody or whatever. Like, I don't really want to be like on my hands and knees every time we miss a chance. So that's how I see it. I think that Southampton are a little bit open. Whether they come with that system, who knows? But I expect Arsenal to break that down and get. And you could be right, Dan. The other way that Arteta might be looking at this game is, let's get 3-0 up quickly, and then I can make changes. So I think that could happen as well. So I'd be very, very disappointed if we're hanging on like we was last week, because that would say to me that there's something not quite right, and that would put doubt in my mind. I need reassuring at home. I got the reassurance on Tuesday night, but it's a different competition. I need reassuring that we've learned from our mistakes of last season at home.
Yeah, same here, mate. And I don't want to be seeing us conceding silly goals anymore at home, because away I actually feel like more confidence we're going to get clean sheet, which is crazy. Look, I think Southampton need to be respected because, of course, they're a Premier League side. But if we do not win convincingly here, I'll be very shocked, because I'm really impressed with how we're playing, and I'm not impressed by how they're playing. Let's quickly mention Aaron Ramsdale, though. He is returning. Good reception expectedly.
100%. I'll be very, very disappointed if you don't get a good reception, because he's been fantastic for us for the 2 seasons that he was in goal. And I also have to say his professionalism and everything when he was not in the team was outstanding. And so I do expect him to get a good reception. I certainly will be clapping him, and then obviously for that 90 minutes, it's a different story. I want him to concede every shot that he has, but then at the end of it, I hope he goes on and does fantastically well. I've got a lot of time for him, and he deserves a fantastic reception, because I think at the end of it, he was a fantastic servant for us for the time that he was here.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be giving him a good reception. I hope the crowd do too. He's a top bloke, good goalkeeper, and I hope he does well with Southampton. If I'm honest with you, if he gets relegated, he needs to try and get a club that ain't going to be in the relegation zone. He deserves a club that ain't going to be. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens with Aaron Ramsdale. I wanted to share this Champions League table as it stands at the moment, Lee, with you, because I think it's interesting that only 8 teams will go through, and there's so many teams in it that look top quality at the moment. Now, look, as you can see there, Dortmund the top, Brest the second. I don't expect them to stay there. Benfica, ? Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool, Aston Villa and Juve. Now, look, if we're saying that all 4 English teams could potentially go through, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool and Villa, because a lot of people think Villa will now. They got Bayern Munich out of the way. They've got Juventus as well, but they have actually got some easier games after that. Girona and Celtic, Bologna and teams like that. That doesn't leave many spaces, Lee. So what do you expect in this top 8 here?
No, listen, it'd be interesting if all 4 teams get through in that. I do expect Arsenal to get there. I don't think Arsenal. We've got Inter Milan, which is a really tough game. But all the other games are definitely winnable. Come on, they are so, and that surely would be enough to see us in the top 8. But as I say, I think it's going to change week to week. I think you make a great point about looking at all the different teams there and what happens. And the thing is, with all of them playing different teams, you don't really know what's going to happen. I think like Arsenal and Aston Villa got Girona, haven't they? So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. But listen, I think our next game, Shakhtar at home. We should rack up another 3 points there, and that push us into the top 8. I'm pretty sure, Dan. I think, and then if you can get a win, I think, which is that's going to be a difficult one, which is away to Inter Milan. Then, but if you was to beat Inter Milan, then I think you've virtually got 1 foot in it, So I do back Manchester City, but Manchester City, if you be honest, are in a bit of a difficult position because they didn't win their home game. I think, I think everybody's turned around and said, if you win all your home games, that's a good sign. Well, Manchester City haven't done that. So it'd be interesting, could Manchester City drop out of that top 8?
That'd be brilliant to see. It'd be brilliant to see. Like I got to say, they say about 15 points, 16 points, they think is an absolute guarantee. So that means that from where we are with 4, we've got to pick up like 11 more points from the remaining 6 games. I think we can do that, Lee.
Yeah. So that would be 3 home wins. Would give us that would give us 9, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we've got to draw 2 away.
An away win, an away or
an away
2
win. Yeah, exactly that. So basically, winning the remainder of our home games and 1 away to either Girona or Sporting Lisbon is basically going to allow us to get through the group into the top 8. Look, I mean, it's interesting. I brought this up for a reason, because if you look down, that's the top 8 at the moment. Manchester City are the last team that are in it. After that, you start coming down and you think, right, these teams have got the opportunity of getting in. Inter Milan, which people might think get in the top 8. Arsenal, which people might think get in the top 8. Bayern Munich, which people might think get in the top 8. Barcelona and Real Madrid. You've got Bayern Munich, Barcelona and Real Madrid all down in 15th, 16th, 17th. A lot of people, Lee, would have thought they would get in the top 8.
Real Madrid lose
They lost to Lille last night. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They lost. PSG as well, obviously, we're not sure what they're going to do. Atletico Madrid at the moment, a lot of people would have thought they would be floating around it. And then rightly so, some of the others, other than AC Milan, to be fair, are down at the bottom. Young Boys, Bratislava, Red Bull. You got Red Star Belgrade as well. So look, if you've got, it's going to be difficult, what I'm saying.
So what happens then? So like the top 8 go through then. So if you're 9th, then do you get the team that's in
the playoff thing? Yeah, you go into the playoffs.
You play the team that's bottom, do you? Like, and the team that's second plays the team.
No, actually, you don't. There's a new draw, completely new draw. So it doesn't matter if you come 1st or 8th. You go into the next round against anyone. So you don't have to win this league. You just have to get in the top 8.
Right, and there's no
like playoffs where second place 4th or first place 6th. It's not like that. You just get into the top 8, and then between 9th and 24th, they all go into a playoff, and then only 8 from that 9 to 24 join us in the last 16.
All right, so 9th don't play 24th, like, they don't get
no advantage.
No advantage from coming 9th to or 24th.
You can come 24th or 9th. It don't matter. You're still in the next round. You just get another draw against any team. Same as us. We'll go into the 8th. If we come 8th, we can get drawn against any of the other 15 sides.
Even English teams?
I believe so. But there was a lot of people saying that that rule was going to stay. But I don't know if that is the case now. I think that we can actually draw English sides. I'm sure we can. But I'll check the rules. Let us know in the chat if you know that, actually. Can we get English sides in the last 16? I think we can.
Does anybody know the rules in the chat? You know what I mean? Because I don't. I don't know those rules. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, we may as well do a quick prediction for the weekend, Lee. I know that we've got busy days tomorrow. But I don't know what you're thinking for this game, mate. What are you going to go for?
3-0. 3-0 minimum.
Okay. I'm going to go with 4-1. I'm going to go 4-1. I want a clean sheet. I just don't have confidence we can keep one in the league at home. But I'm going to go 4-1 Arsenal. I think it'll be convincing. I think we've got an ability to be up at half-time quite comfortably like we have been against in the Emirates in the last couple of games. But I just feel like we're going to concede. I don't know why. It just seems to think that we will. But look, I think it'll be convincing. I think we will play well. I really want to see Ethan Nwaneri. I think, even if he doesn't start, let's give him half hour. Let's not give him 10 minutes, in the Premier League. Let's get him playing games now. Because, at the moment, this is a great opportunity for him, Lee, in my opinion. With Ødegaard out, Trossard playing well. I'm not saying drop him, but Ethan Nwaneri, I think, deserves minutes. So that's what I'm going to be hoping for. But I'm going to go 4-1, and let's see how we go. And then international break, mate, which we all love, don't we? We love an international break, don't we? Oh, goodness. Absolutely hate it.
I only like them when I'm going on holiday, Dan. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not going on holiday, like, So, listen. I don't like the international break. I've got to say, I'm not a lover of it. I don't really enjoy the football. Yes, you get a break from the worry of the weekend, because you do worry about it if you're Arsenal playing and whatever, but.
Course.
But I don't enjoy it.
I went on holiday in the last international, and
you enjoyed it, didn't you?
But yeah, it was lovely. But I ain't going away this time.
No,
so I've been there for a week chilling.
I'm not going away. I'm not going to go away. I'm heading down to London. I'm having a night out in London next Saturday. But I'm not a lover of it. The November one I might enjoy because I'm going away. But I don't enjoy it. And we just. I know it sounds silly, Dan. We're just getting into it again, right? And it's here in like the last game, Southampton, and then you've got 2 weeks of it, or another 10 days of it, or whatever it is, and then so when the next international break comes, you've only got another 4 weeks, and it's another international break. So you don't really. It's just unnecessary for me, like, you know what I mean. I don't look, listen. I'm not going to knock it because it gets a chance to go away, but come on, we've had it all over in the summer, then we come back, and then there's another one in August, and then September, October, November, and then before you know it, then it's Christmas, and we've got games coming out of our ear holes because of it, like, you know what I mean. So I don't know, like, you know.
No, it's going to be difficult for these players because there are going to be injuries. Let's just hope it ain't to Arsenal. Let's actually have
some of the times that they're rumoured that we're going to be playing as well.
No.
Rumours are that we've got Crystal Palace on at 5:30. The Brentford game's going to be moved from the 28th to New Year's Day, 5:30.
We've got Brighton at 5:30.
Brighton's going to be 5:30 as well. Fulham away going to be 2 o'clock on a Sunday. Ain't too bad.
Yeah, that's all right.
But so some funny things, like, and Boxing Day, like, is going to be Boxing Day apparently, like, you know, because like sometimes they've changed them around, don't they? But apparently
we are going to play on Boxing Day against Ipswich, are we?
We are playing Boxing Day against Ipswich, so unconfirmed, not official, but so the Crystal Palace game is going to be 5:30. Brighton's going to be 5:30. Brentford game is going to be 5:30 and move from the 28th to the 1st, New Year's Day. And the Fulham game is going to be 2 p.m., 2 o'clock, right? You know. So listen, Fulham, I don't mind. Like, Fulham, it was 4:30, but like 2 o'clock isn't too bad. Like, you know, we haven't played that much on Sunday.
Quite good. I'm happy. Look, I just want to get to a stage where we're consistently playing well and worry about each game at a time. And at the moment, Southampton in an international break, and then Bournemouth, and then a run of games. Which, let's be real, after that,
is it Bournemouth away?
Away, yeah. Then Liverpool at home, then Preston away, then Newcastle away, then Inter Milan away, then Chelsea away.
International break.
And then international break again.
So, like, when you think about it, Dan, you've got those 3 really hard games away from home, and then an international break, which is not a break for our players because they're all going to be like...
They're all going to play.
All going to play, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, mate. We need a squad. That's why we need to be careful.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be needed. It's going to be needed. That's going to, that's another 3 tough games. We've just come back from 3 big games and done really well on it. But, 3 big games there, like, Newcastle. Like, really, when you think about it, Preston's is a slap. You know what I mean? And then you've got to go to Newcastle. Then from Newcastle all the way over to Milan. And then, like, all right, Chelsea just round the corner, but like, that is a tough week.
Yeah,
tough week.
But listen, when you're at the top, this is what we ask for. And
this is what we. We're not complaining, by the way. We've got
to enjoy it. Emma said, as the new Champions League format spoiled the competition. If you look right at the start of this, we spoke about it. So thank you so much for the super chat. But if you do start this video, you will see we started talking about it. And we both said the pros and the cons for it. Look, Lee, big up to you, mate. Big up to everybody that's here. Thank you all so much for your super chats and, of course, your comments. Really appreciate it tonight. I hope you enjoyed the football. Man United. Oh, what a laugh. What a laugh that was. But, Lee, I'll let you have the last word, mate, as you see us out.
Yeah. Listen, Man United and Tottenham got results on a Thursday night. The consolation for us guys is they all got soaking wet. Have a lovely night.